the need for such a powerful round? Where did the idea for a shoulder-fired 50 caliber rifle come from? And how on earth do you manage the recoil? World War I was a wake-up call for militaries of the early 20th century. New technology brought radical changes to the battlefield: aircraft, radio, artillery, and tanks. Early tanks were heavy and slow, but their armor was not insurmountable. Half an inch of hardened steel at most. By 1917, the Germans added a steel core to rifle rounds, called the K-bullet, to better pierce this armor. In response, tank armor became thicker, rendering conventional rifle calibers ineffective. So, the Germans devised a larger caliber, a 13.2 by 92 mm tank Flieger round. It was intended for a machine gun, but the bolt-action Mauser 1918 T-Gewehr was made to serve as a proof of concept. This was the first anti-tank rifle, much larger and heavier than conventional rifles, and with punishing recoil, but it was able to reliably penetrate 26 mm of steel armor and was a major threat to tanks. The Americans had taken notice. Their 30 cal machine guns were proving less effective against armored planes, so they tasked John Browning to develop a new round. Inspiration was taken from the French 11x59mm Graf round, which had proven effective against observation balloons, and captured examples of the German 13.2mm rounds. The 50 Browning machine gun cartridge was the result, with a half-inch, 40+ gram bullet at muzzle velocities exceeding 2,700 feet per second. Prototypes were finished and ready for testing in November 1918, just as World War I came to an end. The first weapon to fire this new round was the M1921, a water-cooled machine gun, an upscaled M1917 with improvements to the recoil buffers. Its immense weight, 55 kilograms with water, made it difficult to wield, and issues with early cartridges meant the rate of fire and muzzle velocity were suboptimal. So, while the M1921 was adopted in limited numbers by 1929, development continued on the 50 cal platform. The result was the M2. Air-cooled with a variety of barrel options, the improved design entered production in 1933. During World War II, the M2 saw extensive use, mounted to aircraft, ships, boats, armoured vehicles, or on a tripod for infantry use. It was a workhorse, earning the affectionate nickname of Margeuse. By this time, tank armour had advanced to the point where even anti-tank rifles were ineffective. A man-portable weapon with sufficient kinetic energy simply wasn't possible. Instead, high-explosive anti-tank weapons, rocket launchers such as the Panzerfaust and bazooka, became the infantryman's counter to armoured vehicles instead. The era of the anti-tank rifle had come to an end. The M2 Browning had established its own niche, however, that of the heavy machine gun. In fact, it remains in service to this day. Its powerful round, stable platform, and heavy barrel also conferred favourable characteristics for long-ranged, accurate fire. The weapon was equipped with a telescopic sight as early as the Korean War, but the most famous demonstration of the M2's long-range ability came in 1967 in Vietnam. A US Marine Corps sniper, Carlos Hathcock, achieved the longest confirmed sniper kill with a scoped M2. 2,250 meters. A record that stood for 35 years. In 1982, Ronnie G. Barrett was a professional photographer in Tennessee. He was taking some shots of a river patrol boat with mounted M2s when inspiration struck. He pondered the commercial viability of a shoulder-fired, semi-automatic 50 caliber and sketched his plans for a new rifle. Most people he approached about his idea were skeptical. Why would anyone need a 50 caliber rifle?